Good morning. In our last class, we went through the author, Anne Taylor, and an introduction of the story Average Waves in Unprotected Waters. Today, we are going through the story Average Waves in Unprotected Waters in detail. Avery Baldwin is Beth's husband, who left her and their son Arnold a few weeks after learning that Arnold was mentally retarded. As Avery leaves her family, Beth realizes that it will be too difficult to manage Arnold in that shabby one-roomed apartment. Beth Baldwin is the protagonist of the story. Her husband Avery Baldwin, who leaves her and their son Arnold when he recognizes that their son Arnold is a mentally retarded child. Then Beth Baldwin is forced to take the responsibility of their son Arnold. Now Arnold is 9 years old. When the years pass, Beth realizes that it is very difficult to manage Arnold in that shabby one-roomed apartment. Shabby means in poor condition through long use. She is alone there to manage Arnold. So she finds it is difficult to manage Arnold. The story begins with Beth Baldwin waking up in her small, dingy one-room apartment. She wakes her son Arnold and dresses him, then sits him at the table and tries to get him to eat cereal. He refuses, staring off into a corner, and Beth thinks he can sense that something is different. When the story begins, Beth Baldwin waking up in her small, dingy one-room apartment. Beth lives in a dingy one-room apartment. Dingy means dull. She is trying to wake her son Arnold. After that, she starts to dress him. It is very difficult task to dress Arnold. After dressing him, she sits Arnold at the table. Then she tries to get him to eat cereal. She takes a lot of time to manage all these things. Arnold is not at all ready to eat the cereal. He starts to stare off into a corner. But Beth thinks that he can sense that something is different. But today, Beth Baldwin is very busy. She is doing all the things very quickly, and she is dressing Arnold. Even he is a mentally retarded child, he knows that something is different. Arnold can recognize that his mother is planned something. That's why she is doing all these things very quickly. അർണോൾഡ് മെൻ്റലി റിട്ടാർഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കുട്ടിയാണെങ്കിൽ കൂടി തൻ്റെ അമ്മ നടത്തുന്ന ഈ പ്രിപ്പറേഷൻസൊക്കെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു യാത്രയ്ക്കുള്ളതാണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ അർണോൾഡിന് കഴിഞ്ഞിരുന്നു. When she tries to dress Arnold in a newer, expensive coat, he begins to rock and moan in protest. He wants his older coat despite the new one's advantages. As she struggles to dress him, she realizes he is growing bigger and getting stronger. I already told you, Beth Baldwin is alone. She is doing all the jobs alone. She tries to dress Arnold in a newer and expensive coat. Bette Belvins buys a new expensive coat for Arnold. She almost spends her back half a week's salary for buying this new expensive coat. But Arnold doesn't like to wear this new expensive coat. Instead of the new expensive coat, he wants to wear the old one. But the old coat is very tight to Arnold. Somehow, Bette Belvin manages to dress him. At that moment, she recognizes that Arnold is growing bigger and getting stronger. She also identifies herself. It is very difficult to manage Arnold. Now he is 9 years old. More than that, he is very powerful. Arnold went on looking at the ceiling, but his gaze turned wild, and she knew he had heard. She has no help, and soon he will be too large for her to handle in these situations. I already explained that even Arnold is a mentally retarded child. He is looking at the ceiling, but he had heard what Bette Belvin told him. Bette reveals that we are going out. Arnold doesn't give any response, but he understands both of them are going out. It is very difficult for her to manage Arnold because she is alone to manage their home, her job, and her mentally retarded child Arnold. Bette Belvin always gives importance to dress Arnold well. She always gives special care for him to dress well. She always felt bad at how he stood inside his clothes, separate from them, passive, unaware of all the buttons and snaps she had fastened carefully as she would a doll's. But we can see that Arnold doesn't like to dress well. He doesn't give importance to the dressing style. As a mother, Bette Belvin loves him deeply. She gives special care and attention towards him in his dressing, feeding, etc. Before leaving the room, she checked to make sure the hot plate was off and then picked up her purse and Arnold's suitcase. She also gives instructions to Arnold, come along. We can see that she makes sure that she does all the jobs well. She doesn't forget to take her purse and also Arnold's suitcase. I think all of you remembered well. Now she is going to Perkins Hospital. She is already planned to institutionalize her mentally retarded child Arnold. As they leave, they are met by an elderly neighbor, Mrs. Puckett, who often babysat Arnold. Mrs. Puckett has brought Arnold cookies. It is a difficult task to manage Arnold. Somehow she closes the door and both of them leave the room. When they leave, they are met by an elderly neighbor. Her name is Mrs. Puckett. Mrs. Puckett, who often babysat Arnold. Mrs. Puckett helps Bet Belvins to take care of Arnold. Mrs. Puckett spends the time to take care of Arnold. So Mrs. Puckett has brought cookies for Arnold. Mrs. Puckett, their neighbor, who is crying, stops Bet and gives cookies for Arnold. Though Bet wishes that Arnold would give the old lady a hug or just take the cookies offered to him. But he runs off without acknowledging her and leaving Mrs. Puckett in tears. Mrs. Puckett also knows that Bet Belvin is going to institutionalize her mentally retarded child Arnold. That's why Mrs. Puckett reaches there to say goodbye to Arnold. She also brings cookies for Arnold. So Bet wishes that Arnold would give the old lady a hug, or he is ready to take the cookies from Mrs. Puckett. But what happened? Arnold doesn't recognize Mrs. Puckett because he is a mentally retarded child. So he doesn't recognize Mrs. Puckett. So we can see that Mrs. Puckett is in tears when she identifies that Arnold can't recognize her. After taking a bus from their apartment, Bet and Arnold arrive at the railway station. Arnold initially thinks she is taking him to her job and becomes excited, but she manages to move him past the store where she works. Bet Belvins and her son Arnold arrive at the railway station by a bus. Arnold sat by the window. He thinks that his mother is taking him to her working place. So Arnold is very happy. When they pass the red and gold Christmas sign, he starts to jabber and tries to stand up. She manages to move him past the store where she works. Then they continue their journey. Finally, both of them reach at the train station. From the station, she buys the tickets and a pack of Wrigley's spearmint gum for Arnold. When both of them reach at the station, people start to stare at Arnold. We know it well. People are excited when they see mentally retarded children. സഹതാപം കൊണ്ടാണോ കൗതുകം കൊണ്ടാണോ എന്നറിയില്ല. സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള മെൻ്റലി റിട്ടാർഡഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങളെ കാണുമ്പോൾ പലരും തുറിച്ച് നോക്കാറുണ്ട്. As Arnold was traveling for the first time on a train, he was a little nervous, bounced up and down in his seat. When the train started moving, he crowed and pulled at her sleeve. It is Arnold's first train journey, so he is nervous. He has little bit confusion. So he starts to jump up and down in his seat. When the train starts, he starts to pull at his mother's sleeve. Bet purchased gum which she gives to the nervous Arnold. As the train leaves, he becomes calm and falls asleep. When Arnold becomes nervous, Betty gives him the Wrigley Spearmint gum to Arnold. Because Arnold loves gum, actually she doesn't like to give gum for Arnold because he has the tendency to swallow it. That's why she is always afraid to give gum to Arnold. Anyway, to handle this situation well, she gives the gum to Arnold. She can see his skull bones moving as he chews. Arnold is so thin-skinned, almost transparent. Sometimes she imagined she can see the blood traveling in his veins. But Belvins looks at the soft, thin skin of Arnold. Then we can see that as the train leaves, Arnold becomes calm and falls asleep. While Arnold sleeps, Bet's memory goes back to Arnold's childhood days, and she remembers her husband Avery, who left them a few weeks after Arnold's mental disability was diagnosed. When she identifies that Arnold sleeps, she starts to think about Arnold's childhood. At the moment, she is forced to remember her husband Avery. Her husband Avery, who leaves them when she realizes that their child Arnold is a mentally retarded child. Bet's thoughts wander around their early marriage, quite contrary to the wishes of her dear parents. Also, Bet speculates that the gene that caused Arnold's disability came from her because she never could do anything as well as most people. Then she starts to think about their marriage. It is a love marriage. Actually, their marriage is against their parents' wish. When both of them recognize that he is a mentally retarded child. At the moment, Bet starts to blame Avery. Because of his gene, their son becomes mentally retarded child. Now Bet speculates that the gene that caused Arnold's disability came from her. Now she has the wisdom to think about all these things in a practical way. If Bet Belvins and her husband do not blame each other, Arnold will get his parents. That's why she says she never could do anything as well as most people. When a couple recognizes that their child is mentally retarded, they have the tendency to blame each other by telling theirs heredity. Instead of that, if they are ready to recognize the reality, they can support each other. They can take care of their children very well. Unfortunately, both of them do not have the ability to take the situation well. Now Bet Belvins recognizes the situation. She feels sad about her mistake. If she is ready to admit the reality without blaming her husband, she can live with her husband and child very happily. But she doesn't have the practical knowledge to handle the situation. They had married too young against her parents' wishes. All she had wanted was to get away from home. She reflects on marrying Avery against her parents' wishes when they were too young. What is the reason behind it? Why she marries Avery at her youth? She wants to escape from home. But what is the reason behind it? Why she wants to escape from her home? She doesn't get the answer. Because she is so young. She doesn't have the maturity to take the decision. We can say that it is an infatuation. It may be. She just wants to escape from her home. That's why she decides to marry Avery. Then she recollects her childhood days where everything had been ruled by the sea. Her childhood spent with her parents in Salt Spray, Maryland, by the ocean. So she starts to recollect her memory relating her childhood. She spent her childhood with her parents in Salt Spray, Maryland. Her father would check the marine forecast every day to find out the height of average waves in unprotected waters so he could plan his day. I already told you her father plans his day by checking the marine forecast. According to that, he plans his day in unprotected waters. Her father loved the ocean and swam or fished every day of his life, which was why his days revolved around the weather reports. Father loves to swim and fish every day of his life. But he does all these things by the weather reports. He tried to teach her how to surf, but she just stood in the water and let the waves crash against her, entering. Her father thought she was scared, but it wasn't that at all. He also tries to teach his daughter how to surf, but Betty Belvin is not at all interested to study body surf. She doesn't fight the unprotected water. She just stands in the water and the waves crash against her. So her father thinks that she is scared. She is frightened. Actually, she doesn't fight the waves. That means she knows she is safe in the hands of her parents. So she doesn't want to take any precautions in her life. Now she is alone in her life. She lost her beloved husband. She also understands it is very difficult to take care of Arnold. She thinks of Avery again, thinking she would never have left him, even though part of her irrationally blamed him for how Arnold turned out. She would have stayed forever. She starts to think about her beloved husband again. She feels very bad. She regrets now. If she is ready to admit the reality, if she doesn't blame her husband, definitely she can live with her husband and child very happily. Betty draws a connection between the waves and her life with Avery. While Avery left her, she stayed in the apartment for a while because she took some comfort from entering. Her thoughts about the past were disturbed when Arnold wakes up. So we can see here Bette Belvin starts to draw a connection between the waves and her life with Avery. Now she is alone. When her husband leaves her and their child Arnold, Bette Belvin is forced to stay in that apartment for a while. But now she recognizes that it is very difficult to live in this apartment with her child Arnold. That's why Anne Taylor gives the title Average Waves in Unprotected Waters. Suddenly, she is disturbed when Arnold wakes up. I think this is enough for today's class. We will continue the story of Bette Belvin in our next class. Thank you.